Okay. We are back for game number 4 of the channel. I'm playing white against MZ Novich from Canada. Huh. Okay. I have never played against this opening. I could push, or I could just develop the knight. If you do that, I take. Yeah, we're just gonna do this. I'm anticipating this, but I have no idea. I've never seen this opening before. Okay, so yeah, we're basically playing what I wanted to play, which is Ruy Lopez. And you just went about it a weird way. Black has a couple moves. That is one of them. Okay, so some candidate moves here. I can take, but then you can take back, and that kind of opens this up. I could just castle, and if you take, I'd probably take back here. Oh, actually, no, I think I'd take back here and then be able to control the center. So I don't care that much about this. If I castle and you castle, can I just go right for it? You take, I take. Okay, I take, boom, then go. I'm not sure exactly what to do, so I'm just going to play safe move and castle. I don't think there's any immediate tactics that I have to deal with. If you did that, you could take. This is still covered, so yeah, I think I'm okay there. I'm just going to castle. Okay. I could pull back and eventually reroute. Wouldn't be the worst, or I could just take. It's between one of these two. I don't think there's another immediate move I could make. I'm a little unfamiliar with the position, so I think I'm just going to take, and we're going to go from there. And they take back there. I think that was a mistake. I think taking back with the central pawn and opening up the queen makes more sense. But now they do have this file that I have to pay attention to. So my knight isn't pinned to anything. And the problem with that move that they just made is it leaves this undefended, and then this is undefended. So this is a loose piece, and if you try to, push me out of the way, then that's hanging. So I think I just take. I can take this, because what can they do to respond to that and put me in trouble here? I don't see anything immediate. This isn't hanging because my knight isn't pinned to anything. My knight could just take. So I think I'm just going to take this pawn because that's an undefended piece. And I talked about this in my previous video. In this rating range, I think until I get to maybe 1200, all I really want to focus on throughout this game is just undefended pieces. So they do take there, and that undefends this. So I don't have to take this right away. And what's funny about this is it kind of... Ooh, let's think about the move order here. So do I need to take this right away? Or what's the best way? Because if I hop in here, I am threatening this queen. But you can just take back. If I take here first, this pawn is hanging. But do I care? So a potential line here, if I take and then you were greedy and you took, I could take here, threaten the queen. But then the queen's not pinned anymore. The queen could get out, but you might just take, and then I could take, and you'd have to trade. That doesn't look bad. I definitely don't want to just take right now because you're just going to take and I'll get nothing for it. So I think I just take this pawn, and I'm going to take here. Ooh, I don't know. Do I take here and then try to grab onto the center and then maybe get my bishop out? I mean, this is already weak, so it seems pretty obvious they're going to castle kingside, and it might be nice to have this bishop on this diagonal. I could do this and then push the pawn. I think I'm going to, actually, I'm surprised myself here. I think I'm going to do that and maybe not grab that pawn. Because I could even do this. If they don't castle right here, I can do that and prevent them from castling. Okay, so they castle right away. I feel like this is hanging. I need to defend that. So maybe just this right away. This right away to defend this pawn, but then they could come out. So if I bring my rook, they bring the rook out. I have to move my knight. They could take, and I don't want to take back right away. So it actually might be better to just defend the pawn here. And it opens up my bishop on this diagonal. So I think I just need to do that, because if I don't think I can save this pawn. Either way, my knight's going to get bumped. If I'm lucky, they'll go here, and I can just take, and they won't see that's going to be undefended if they do that. We're going to do that, and then hopefully try to push. Because right now, this bishop is stuck. Their bishop's basically out of the game. So yeah, now I have a choice of where I want to put this knight. I could do here to kind of encourage a trade, but I don't really think that helps me much. Going back here, potentially covering this square might be helpful. And I don't think that my f-pawn is going anywhere. So I like this move right here. Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm anticipating black pushing this pawn. Yeah, so now this is out and exposed. I do not want them to be able to get into that square and pin me. So I think the best move right here is h3 to prevent that. I could do that. I could kind of do my own pin here. But I really don't think that helps me much. Because if I took, I'm not really threatening to take. They could just take back, and there's like more pressure here. So I don't really like that move. I still think it would be nice to get the bishop on this long diagonal. I think I'm just going to prevent this for now. Okay. So what is black going to do next? Maybe get the other rook on the open file. That wouldn't be bad, I guess. I can't really... Okay, so they do that. That feels like a good square for my knight to eventually get to. I don't know how I'd get there right away. What are some options here? I could take the file. I could get my bishop into the game. Maybe like here. I could just push my pawn. And if you pushed, I could push again. See, if I push my pawn, that's undefended though. Thinking about undefended pieces. That's an undefended piece. This is an undefended piece. And if I push that, that's attacked twice. So I can't do that. I could do this, but that's not good. I need to defend this more. I could do that first, but then if you just did that, it doesn't really help. That doesn't really help, does it? I think I'm just going to get my rook over and protect this central pawn. I think doing that would be nice for them. I feel like the same ideas here. I could see them, yeah, they do that. Okay, so their bishop that pawn's getting attacked again. If I did this, is it really helping me though? If I did that and you did that, what's my next move, you know? It's difficult to defend this. If I push here, take, 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 take. I could do that. Maybe I just push this pawn right here. You take, I take. Or I could even take with the rook, and I'm taking, you take, and I take. I think that's better. If I push here and you take, I can take with the rook. You take back, I take back. And I can prop up the knight then with this. I like that. If I do this, can the knight hop somewhere? Not really. Okay, let's see if I did that properly. I feel like in positions like this, there's always moves that I'm not considering, that being one of them. So the point here is if I take, well, what is the point there? What are you threatening? If I just take with my queen, if I take with the queen, I am eyeing this now. If you move it, the knight can't jump there. You still have to deal with your knight issue. I think I'm just going to take with my queen. I don't want to weaken my king. Okay. This is undefended. Could do that. It's an undefended piece. And if you take your eye off of it, I mean, I don't hate that move. If I hopped here as well, can't go, can't go. You could go there, but then I could just hop into here. Well, yeah. Okay, so if I bring my bishop out, I'm just wondering if I have enough firepower to like make anything happen here, or if I should just be patient. I definitely want to get my bishop developed. Can't go there, can't go there, can't go there, you can't go there. There's really nowhere you can move. And what if you counterattack? Well, I'll just take here with my pawn. I think I like this. My hope is that they do something to like potentially weaken their king. And if we trade and you do this, then your king's really exposed in that line. I think I'm going to go for this. I don't see any immediate tactics for them. Okay, so they already did one. So if I take here, and then they take with the queen, if I take, they're going to take back, and their king's pretty exposed. We got pawns all over the place, but their pawns, both of the pawns are pretty nuts, but I think I have enough there where I can make something happen. So I'm going to go for this endgame. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I feel like my king is safer. It already has an escape square, so there's no back rank stuff I need to deal with. What pawn do I go after, and what order do I do this in? Taking the open file makes a lot of sense. Getting up here, potentially. I'm just trying to think about what their next move would be, or what would be smart for them to do. This doesn't make sense. They can just push this pawn, and I can't take this. If I go here, this is the only open file on the game. I think I just need to take this right away. So doing this to check the king, but it's just like it's just a random check. It doesn't help me at all. So I think the next move is getting up here. If they move over here, I don't think I want to take, because that just gives them the file. I want them to take me. I feel pretty good about this. You know, we're even in material. And they're going to bring their king up. So they're going to try to get their king active. Do I pop up here? And then I'm threatening this. And if you come here, then I'm going there. And I'm going to win this pawn. If I go here and then you defend, I could push. You take, and then I have an open file. Or I push, you take, I take, you take. And then you can't defend all of them. So I like that. I go here. If you defend this way, I can push. If you push, I take. If you take, I take. And then it's pretty easy, and you can't defend all three of these pawns. So let's see what happens there. Okay, they just pushed the pawn. But now I can, right? I can just go here, and this pawn's a goner. If I go here, you could defend it this way. Or do I want to do this? Do I do this? If you were to come over and defend it, then I could go here. And I'm threatening to kind of double up on the 7th rank. I like that. Let's do that. I'm anticipating this move. And I think I should do that. And I'm going to. And I don't know what would be better. To go here? I think it might be better to just go here. I could take, if you take, I take, and then I'm still threatening this. Do I want to take this pawn and allow you to have this file? Do I have a choice, really? Another question to ask. If I take and you take and I take, where are you going next? You could go here. And you're defending and attacking this at the same time. I could defend it here then. If I push, you take, I take, you go here, take. Should I take or should I push? I push, you take, I take. Let's just take. Wow. It's kind of surprising. Should I just take and then I can defend this pawn? You go here. I can still double up afterwards. Or do I go here first? Because now you can't do it. I think I just defend. And then I'm going to take. Okay. I don't see how that helps. Okay, I feel pretty good about this. Because I feel like I have everything pretty defended. This rook is stuck. I'm going to take this no matter what next. These are defended. I have this open file. Like, I feel way better about my position. What are they going to do? I mean, I don't feel like I need to worry about any of their pawns getting away. This one's the most advanced, and I'm going to take it next. I don't really think there's anything they can do about it. I mean, they could do something like this, but I think I would just take. I wouldn't even want to trade. And I don't know. At the moment, these things are stuck, but okay. So what do I want to do here? Do I want to stick, like, go here and kind of fix this? No, because then if you come down, well, I don't know. Do I just go here? And if you go down, then I get to go down too? I think I just double up. Because then I'm threatening multiple things. If I double up, I'm threatening this, and I'm threatening this. And yeah, this makes sense to me. There's a lot of threats here. This outside pawn, this would be nice to get if I do that, and then I can just run this up the board. Okay. I think I can take. You take. This is defended. What do I want to do here? Take. Trade. No, because then that gets this over here and you're kind of defended. I think I just want to take this pawn. If you go here, then I just come up. If you go over here, I think I'd go over here. And then I'm going to take that next. Wow, that kind of, I feel like this makes my job a little easier because now I'm going to take this piece next. You go here, well, I go first. Take, and then that's defended. Wow, they're going to give it to me. Okay, so what's the threat here? You go here, and then you're going to take. I mean, I feel like I should take this. But what's the threat? Is there like a serious threat here? You go here, or you could go here and threaten to win that. But I feel like this pawn's going to get away. If you go here, do I really have to be worried about anything? You go here, you threaten to take. That is a pretty serious threat because I won't be able to come up here to run away. So if I take and you go here, I need to play up. And then if you take, I have to run. I think that's okay though. I think this pawn's going to get up the board. I don't think there's anything they can do to stop it. You're going to have to take me, bud. Right? I don't want to take. I don't want to take there. I don't want to take, because then you get to take back with check. And this pawn's going to hang. If you go here, that makes sense. To try to double up and be able to check. But then I can just kind of run away again. And I'm like out in the middle of the board. And I think this pawn is going to be what you really need to worry about. Yep. Because now that's defended. And if you go over here, I'm just going to push it up. Now what? Yeah, we're gonna promote that pawn. That one's not going anywhere. Over. That's donezo. Now it's really over. What's wild too, I just noticed this. They have 15 minutes left. Mzinovich has 15 minutes left, and I have a minute left. I say this every video, I think, so far, but man, no one uses their time. So I can promote, you take, I take. I can cut off the king and then promote another one. Or I can just start gobbling up pawns. So that seemed like a mistake. Because you ain't gonna, yeah. There we go. Okay, so that felt like a really clean game. I kind of was thinking about undefended pieces throughout. I feel like I had a couple good moves. Let's take a look at it once before we turn the analysis on and see if I can come up with anything of my own. So I wanted to play a Rui Lopez Spanish game, and we got there. We just kind of went about it in a different way. I think right here felt like a mistake. I think taking with this pawn is better because it opens up the queen in the center of the board. It also opens up this bishop earlier. They took here, so for a few moves, their bishop's undefended. And the more immediate issue with this, with taking like here, is this pawn is hanging. And if they take here instead, I can't really take this pawn because the queen comes down and it attacks, you know, all these things. It's a big issue. So it's much better to take with the middle, with the D pawn. But they take with the B pawn instead, which allows me to take this. They take, I take here. I wonder in this position when I take if I should have done the same. If I should have kind of done a similar thing where I kind of just open up the bishop here instead and have my queen in the game earlier. I take here because I'm thinking long-term about this. And I think it ultimately worked because this B file, I mean, I didn't know it at the time, but this B file was huge at the end of the game. I feel like in this moment, I'm glad I made that move because I think that would have been annoying to deal with. Another thing I'm thinking about here, I wonder if the computer is going to want one of us to take that open file with our rooks earlier, because that didn't happen for quite a while. This move, what move was this? Move 12? Or no, it's move 13 for me. That felt like a really nice move. I think this is the kind of position where, at the level that I'm at, it's pretty hard to look at a position like this and confidently say what a plan would be, like what should I do. And I feel pretty good about what I did here. I feel like this series of moves, like through here, to kind of get this weird, they've got two doubled pawns, they've got these two isolated wing pawns. My structure's not great either, but I like the safety around my king a bit more. I'm glad I did the calculation here too. I was happy that I thought about my opponent's threat and I came up with the plan ahead of time, because if I hadn't, if I had just done something like this move would have been a lot nastier. I think it would have been mate, right? Yeah. No, it wouldn't have, because they can't, but I would have been in big trouble. I think it might have led to mate. So if I had gone here, my only move is to go down into the corner. And if they just come back, I can't move anything. I can't really get in here to defend. Like if they took, I go in the corner, they come back, and I'm still in this position. There's no way out of it. It's done. The next move is checkmate. So that was huge that I saw that. Because if I had not moved my king right there, or I'd gone down, that would have been a game, I believe. I'm also really glad about that. I think if I had taken here, they would have gotten more initiative. They're coming with check. I have to move, and then this pawn hangs. So taking here would have been bad. I think doing it this way and getting them to take me helps, because now I'm defending this, and I also have an easy time defending that. So that was a big win there as well. And then my strategy throughout the rest of the game was just get this pawn up the board. So I immediately just tried to get my king up. And I feel like, I don't know, with these moves right here that black's doing, this feels too slow. I don't know if they're already like lost. But I think they need to do something. They need to do something a little more productive with the rook. I think recognizing the threat and maybe trying to get their king over, or sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the way black played the end of this. It just made it really easy for me to get a queen, and now I'm up material. They took here, which immediately hangs the pawn. Yeah, that's game. I guess in this situation too, I could have just taken and let you have that, and then I just run this up the board. Either way, it's a pretty clean win. So let's see what the analysis has to say about it. I'm gonna scoot this over. Okay, that should be good. nice. Ah, yeah, so it does want me to take. It wants me to take with the D pawn instead. And yeah, here it says the same thing. It's like, that's okay, but it wants both of us to take with the D pawn when we have the opportunity to. And neither of us do. So that's good to know for future games for me. Okay, they like that. That was the best way to defend that pawn. I was thinking about in the game, you know, they're gonna come after and boot my knight, and if I move my knight, like if I just make some random move here and then they come out and attack my knight, either way, I have to move it and this pawn's just hanging. So defend the pawn first, then move back. It liked this move too, and I saw that. I was like, okay, I can't let that happen, so that's why I played the H3 move. It did not like that move. Why was that a mistake? It just says take, queen d5. Ah, look at that. I can't deal with both of them. Didn't see that move. That's great. So that was a mistake. So if they had taken, I'm supposed to, if I try to take back, they go here, and then what's my best defense? Okay, to just hop back and block it. Rook takes c1 check. Knight takes. Ah, okay, I can take with the knight because it's defending it still. It's tricky. So I push here, and they also make a mistake and take. They like that. Okay, so when I was talking earlier about grabbing the open file, it prefers taking the file here. But I took it that way. I knew I wanted to get it at some point. I just liked the idea of kind of weakening the king safety net a bit. Okay, in that position, it does just want me to ignore it. It's interesting, too, because that makes a really immediate threat if I had just done that and ignored it. I'm threatening to take with check here, and I've got double rook. So if you come down, like if I had done that, you need to deal with that right away. So I can take, check. Okay, so that's what it kind of wanted me to do, is just double up immediately. But I didn't. Ooh, it really wants me to double up there. Look at that. I was thinking about this pawn the whole time. So there's quite a few mistakes made at the end of this game by both of us. Okay, so not the cleanest endgame there. It looks like around here we both made quite a few mistakes. But overall, when the pawn started to kind of clear off the board, and I kind of saw these moves, I had the right idea. I was like, okay, I'm going to promote that pawn and they can't stop it. And that's exactly what happened. And pushing my king up the board was the right way to do it. So I feel pretty good about that game. Definitely a few moments to kind of learn from early on. And then I think the big takeaway when I had those two rooks at the end was just not to underestimate how powerful doubling those rooks are and kind of attacking more on the king side. I think I was really focused on that one pawn that they had. I think it was on c5, and I could have been a bit more aggressive over here. But overall, it worked out really well. So thank you again for the game, MZ Novich, and thank you for watching. And I'll be back again soon with a new video. All right.